What's up guys, and welcome back to On the Brick, where today we're going to be continuing a conversation we've sort of had before. If you have watched this channel, then you know one thing I really like to do is, along with reviewing minifigures and custom sets, is reviewing the stores that you can get them from and letting you know what they're like. Ever since I first started doing this, I have received a whole lot of requests to review this store or that store or a bunch of different ones, honestly. So to answer the question as to why I haven't reviewed insert store name here, it's quite simple. I really just haven't gotten to it yet. I've talked about this in the past, but to keep it extremely brief, I actually have a system I follow when I buy from sellers, and so I want to make sure I can complete that and everything before reviewing them, just so I can be as fair as possible. However, there is another thing that I have now added to that system due to something that has just continued to happen. For one reason or another, multiple sellers have just stopped being reliable. Right now, I can actually name 4 different sellers who I reviewed at one point on this channel and can no longer recommend. Now, one of these guys, Custom Brick Builder, shut down his store because he went to go do something else in his life, so I can't recommend a seller that doesn't sell anymore. However, the other 3 are just because they don't do their job. In fact, previously I talked about how Star Wars Fanatics kind of just disappeared until the point where I said I was going to make a video about him, and then suddenly he was fulfilling orders and giving refunds. However, unfortunately, he kind of just immediately did the same thing afterwards. You can still go to his website right now, and he still will not fulfill your order, at least at the time of making this video. I also talked about Jonak Toys in that video, talking about how he did the opposite, where he came back, explained what happened, apologized, and went ahead and fulfilled his orders, only to then disappear himself. And I have gotten so many messages from people asking what's going on with him, and the simple answer is just don't buy from him anymore. He cannot keep up with orders, deliver on them, respond to emails, or just do what he's required to do anymore. So at least at the time of making this video, I would definitely stay away from those 2 guys, but unfortunately I need to talk about that final seller and why I would no longer recommend them. This probably isn't going to be a surprise to a lot of you, but it's Natesminifigs. And while I'm not going to completely disregard him just yet, I do have to highly caution you at the moment because he's also just not really sending out orders. Sort of. Unlike Jonak or Star Wars Fanatics, he is actually sending them out. It's just taking a very long time to do so. He recently released a video where he talked a little bit about this and explained that, well, it's kind of just him and a bunch of other stuff. You can go and watch that yourself. But in the comments were countless people saying that they're still waiting on orders from him, including some people who said they were waiting up to 5 months at this point. In fact, I placed an order in November before Black Friday, and it still hasn't even shipped. And it would be one thing if it was just going slow, but it's another thing when he's almost actively working on other things instead, including new releases, like this Boba Fett chair that released yesterday. And if I don't have a picture for that, I'm sorry. This is a brand new 3D print that he released on January 10th in 2022 for $30. Despite having hundreds of orders that he has not shipped out yet. Which to me just means that instead of working on his outstanding orders, he decided to spend the time designing this. And yeah, one is way more fun than the other, but you're literally being paid for one of them. That is what people gave you their money for. And while I absolutely wanted to buy this chair, there was no way that I was going to give him another $30 knowing that it might never even reach me. Now, in all fairness, he did say both before my purchase in November and before the release of this throne that orders would take a little bit to ship. But that's just not fair or entirely accurate. But a little bit to ship out is like a week or 2. 2 months to 5 months is just unacceptable. And I'm sorry, but there's just no excuse for that. You might be the only one doing it, but if you can't keep up, that's something you need to fix then. at this point, I would put a hold on your website and stop taking orders. And I would definitely stop designing new things, at least right now, or, well, to be completely honest, keep designing them, just don't post them publicly quite yet. Take the time to catch up on the orders that you have. Figure out how you can make this work better for you, even if it takes a few months. People are still gonna like you and will be much more appreciative of you taking the time to get things right than taking 6 months to get an order out. And when you have caught up on orders and when you have figured out how to make sure you don't get so far behind again, only then would I reopen the store and let yourself get more orders and continue this business, because otherwise, this is a problem that's just never going to go away. Also, this is just a side note for anyone selling 3D printed products, but there's no such thing as limited stock when you can just make more. But yeah, anyway, I just needed to talk about that today because I am thoroughly disappointed that yet another seller joins the list of unreliable places. Now, if you've been waiting on an order from him, please do let me know in the comments down below. I would really like to see just how many people this has affected and see if this really is as big as a problem as his own comments made it seem. And make sure you hit that like button so other people know to stay away temporarily. Again, I hope he fixes himself, and when he does, you better believe that I will be letting all of you know. And since we're talking about supporting people, if you want to support me, you can always check me out on Instagram, Discord, and of course on Patreon, where you can join all these lovely people on screen and get shoutouts like Jonathan Project Elements. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.